on the VinceEverettEllison show. There is a God. Joy Reid has just been fired from MSNBC. And we're going to talk about the Democratic Party's obsession with ugly black women today on the VinceEverettEllison show. All right, let's get this thing started. And I got a whole lot of schadenfreude going on today. And I try not to get to a point where I celebrate too much other people's misfortunes. But, I mean, sometimes you just got to just let it roll. You know, when a tyrant falls, you got to celebrate, right? When Hitler falls, you got to celebrate. When Mussolini falls, you got to celebrate. When Kamala Harris gets beat in a presidential election, you got to celebrate. And when Joy Reid finally gets fired from MSNBC, you got to do the Holy Ghost dance. Because I'm going to tell you, man, that woman, she was stone cold cancer. But Joy Reid is just a symptom of a big problem that we got in black America today. Again, you know, they say they fired her because her numbers started tanking. Well, you know, she was hard to look at when she had hair on her head. But when she kind of got that bald look going on, it went bad real fast. And it was hard to look at. It was like looking at a car wreck or a burn victim every day. You just, you know, it was like, you had to look at it because it was so bad, but you want to turn away at the same time. So that was Joy Reid. And, you know, and so Joy's gone now. And, you know, she was there for a while. I think she got there in like 2014. But, you know, Joy was interesting. Joy was a Harvard grad. Yeah, she went to Harvard. And Harvard should disown that. Because, you know, you look at Harvard now, and coming from Harvard kind of mean that you're stupid. And Harvard's going to quickly start getting connected with just stupid people coming out of it. Because liberalism is just stone cold stupid, and Joy Reid was stupid on like a hyper-vigilant level. So Joy she went to Harvard. She was 56 years old. She was one of those people, though, she could have been between 80 and 30 because she was so unattractive. The age just wouldn't have mattered on her anyway. If she was 80, she'd have still been unattractive. If she'd have been like a 16-year-old girl, she'd have been, you know, it just wouldn't have mattered. So she's 56. She's gone to Harvard. She was born in Brooklyn, New York. Her father had come from, where'd her father come from? Her father had come from the Congo. And her mother had come from Guyana. And that was interesting when I read that, because that means she was a second-generation African. And most African people have a different kind of work ethic than foundational black Americans. You know, they migrated over here, they worked, da-da-da-da. She obviously did pretty good because she did go to Harvard. But then she got caught up into this whole foundational black American thing of being a victim. And I'm finding that a lot of second-generation Africans that come over here fall into that African-American concept of victimization. Even though they usually do very, very well, it's like they can only call themselves black if they somehow or another clash onto the ghetto mindset of the ghetto-minded inner-city black American that says they're a victim. That's how they get their brotherhood thing going on. And Joy Reid hopped onto that. I believe it's more of an elitism that says, I'm better than you. I'm up here, you're down here, and you can only get up to where I am by a government program or if white people give up their privilege. Because I'm so much smarter than you, I made it. You can never make it to where I am. So, you know, I'm the talented 10th. You're at the bottom. My job is to get white people to allow you to come up to my level because you can never do it on merit like I did. So Joy Reid's name, when she was born, her name was Joanne Lomena, Lomena. So she kind of had her father's Congolese name. And I was surprised to find out that Joy Reid was married to a guy named Jason Reid, and that they had 3 children. Now, I don't know if he's a white man or a black man. It doesn't matter. I do know this, that whoever married Joy Reid needed combat pay to look at her every day. I know that. So whoever he was, he's either blind or he was a glutton for punishment. Because that's hard to look at. But she's married. And now, I know her show has been canceled. Don't know if she's been fired or not. But the show readout, it's canceled. And it was a show just full of hate, man.
My show had value. And that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. That in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God.
I mean, people go on there and just say the most hateful, ridiculous, racist things like, Trump is deporting all Black and brown people. Well, he's deporting you if you're here legally. And it just happened to be that a whole lot of Western Europeans weren't coming over the southern border. They just weren't. Now, some were. You find some from Ukraine and all that kind of stuff coming over. And if we find them, we're going to deport them too. But mostly 40% of them came from Mexico. 40% of all illegals came from Mexico. So it's, if the Black and brown people are the ones that are breaking in, the Black and brown people are the ones just sending them back out. Isn't that logical? Or you just supposed to just round up white folks and send them out just for general principle? Just make deportation an affirmative action program also, right? That's so stupid. So her show is canceled. But MSNBC hadn't learned anything, y'all. Hadn't learned a thing. Because from what I understand, they're going to replace her with Simone Sanders. If y'all know what boy, anyway. Oh, man. I'm just trying not to be just too negative about these things, but you should like that movie Dumb and Dumber. You got one guy that's an idiot, then you got one that's just a bigger idiot. And that's what they've done here. Simone Sanders is just it's a shade locker, lighter skinned version of Joy Reid. They both bald-headed. They both got the same type of ideology. They both ghetto and ratchet. She worked for Kamala Harris, and I think they're going to have Michael Steele on the show with them. Michael Steele's turncoat used to be a GOP guy, but now he's a stone cold liberal, whoever's paying him, I guess. Steele used to be the attorney general, not attorney general, I'm sorry, lieutenant governor of Maryland, Republican. And then he ran for Senate as a Republican and lost to Ben Cardin. This was probably about 20 years ago. And so he lost to Ben Cardin, and they made him chairman of the RNC. Yeah, Michael Steele was chairman of the RNC. Michael went up there and did what a whole bunch of ghetto people do, and he started spending all the money. And he got voted out of there. So then he turned to a Democrat like overnight, and they hired him at MSNBC. So it's going to be him, Simone Sanders, and I think this Sanchez girl. I think her name is Sanchez. I forget her name. But anyway, they're going to take the slot, and it's still going to be a bunch of liberal, stupid, ignorant mess. And MSNBC is still going to be down at the bottom where they belong. I listen to them every now and again just to see what crazy people are talking about. And they are stone cold crazy. But here's something that's interesting behind all of this. There's a variation on the theme here that's pretty interesting. And it's this obsession that the Democrat Party has with unattractive black women. And I don't know where it's coming from. But I just kind of noticed it, that they've started electing these black women, African-American women. I call them African-American women because they ain't black, they're African-American. They still got this thing for Africa. Even though Africa sold them, put them on slave ships, sold their ancestors, put them on slave ships and sent them over here, told them they did not want them. They still have this thing about wanting to go over there and be part of Africa, and Africa don't want to have anything to do with them. Haven't sent one canoe to come see about us in 600 years. But, they still fiending to go back to Africa for some reason. They act like they all want to go, but they never go. I mean, hell, it's just a plane ticket. Go over there and I guess the property ain't that, the property isn't that expensive. You on Social Security, you could just get your check and go live in Africa forever. So if you want to go, say La Vie, but they all, we African-American and they want to, I'm a black American. I don't call myself African-American. And we'll get into that later. But you got a lot of foundational black Americans that still are fiending to go back to Africa, and most of them in the congressional. And they don't know where they're coming and going. They call themselves the Black Caucus, but they call themselves African Americans. Yeah. Well, whatever. But you got these black women now, right? That are all getting involved in politics. And a lot of them are fairly unattractive. And just mean and ratchet and ghetto, man. And they try to gaslight you. They try to gaslight you into believing that these women are attractive, beautiful, and elegant, and they're not. I mean, you got Joy Reid. I just talked about her, right? Then you got Simone Sanders. Just talked about her. Yeah, you got Stacey Abrams. Oh my goodness, Stacey Abrams. I remember they put Stacey Abrams on the cover of Time magazine and put her on the cover of all these magazines. And these magazines try to tell you how graceful and pretty Stacey Abrams is. Come on, man. I don't want to be low down, but everybody knows Stacey Abrams ain't pretty. Now, come on, let's just keep it real, okay? I mean, she got some hair on her head. She wear them little twisting things, but come on now. I know y'all think I'm being mean. But I tell you, I could be 15, 20 times worse on this. I promise you I'm taking it easy. If I wanted to say what I wanted to say about Stacey Abrams and the rest of these women, they probably kick me off YouTube. So I'm trying to keep this as politically correct as possible without being too politically correct. Because I hate being politically correct. But I do know that there are guardrails and boundaries that you should never cross. And I'm trying to keep from crossing those boundaries here. But, Stacey Abrams lost the seat of the governor's race in Georgia twice. They tried to gaslight everybody into believing that Stacey Abrams was I'm not going to say that. Well, it tried to gaslight everybody into believing that Stacey Abrams was highly attractive. And that, believe me or your lying eyes is basically what they was trying to do with us with Stacey Abrams, okay? And people didn't buy it. And both times she ran, both times she lost. And a whole lot of it had to do with what she looked like. I'm just keeping it real with you now. So they got Stacey, then they got Maxine Waters. That's a face that only a mother could love right there. And Maxine's old, but Maxine was unattractive when she was young, so it's got nothing to do with age with Maxine. She's just who she is. And then you got Big Mike. Big Mike! They tried to tell everybody how good-looking Michelle Obama was. When I first saw her, I was like, I didn't see it. I still don't see it. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But you got Big Mike, then you got Letitia James. Oh God! Then you got Robin Roberts on ABC every morning. I don't even watch ABC Good Morning America because Robin Roberts is on there. Look like a man married to a woman. I don't want to see that. Then you got Ariana Presley, congresswoman from around Boston area. And them low down white liberals put her up there just so they could laugh at her. I tell you what they're doing. You wouldn't have a bald-headed white woman up there. I'm telling you. She wouldn't get the job. They put her up there so she can laugh at her. Just like you put Sambos and stuff on TV and laugh at them and people in blackface. That's what they're doing. They're putting all of these unattractive black women, bald-headed, put them on television so everybody can sit back and laugh at them all over the world. Everybody around the world see this. Then you got Al Sharpton. Say what? Al Sharpton ain't a woman. Come on. Oh, he just look. We got his hair fixed like a woman. I always thought that Al was just an ugly woman, but you're trying to say he's just an ugly man? All right, so we'll take Al off the list. He's just an ugly man that looks like an ugly woman. Is that what it is? We got that. And then you got two women that are not so much as ugly in the face, but they ugly in how they act. So when you see them, they have a visceral effect on you. And that's Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala was a pretty good-looking woman when she was young. But all that dirty crap she's doing is caught up with her like the portrait of Dorian Gray. I saw her on the NAACP Image Awards the other night, and I'm like saying, man, what the hell is wrong with Kamala? She had on this big old frumpy black suit, and she sounded like she was drunk.
This chapter will be written not simply by whoever occupies the Oval Office, nor by the wealthiest among us. The American story will be written by you, written by us, by we the people.
What Kamala talking about? She spoke for about 15 minutes. I don't remember a damn thing she said. Slurring her words and stuff. And then you got Jasmine Crockett, just ghetto wretched.
We've heard a lot about the fact that Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not going to stop talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and confirmed to something, then so be it. But as of right now, we have somebody that for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're stupid, or if you literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros and a Bill Gates. But let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates ever somehow decided to turn off the spigot of money that was going through to various organizations and agencies to the extent that it had actually been ordered by law that they should have access to it, to the extent that people are dying. There are people that have died as a result of this antic, and there are now farmers that are screaming that they may lose their family farms because we have over $500 million worth of food that is sitting and not going anywhere because of the attempt to shut down U.S. aid. So let me tell you, that is the big difference between the two of them. And let me also tell you that a big difference between Democrats and Republicans is that we don't just say we believe in the Constitution, but we walk it like we talk it. What does that mean? That means that if we believe in the Constitution, we don't just pick out the Second Amendment and say that it is limitless, nor do we pick out the First Amendment and say that it is limitless. The thing about the Constitution is that it has always been a balancing test. There are...
Think she fooling somebody with all that weave, making folks think her hair that long. Everybody know that you got a wig on your head. Big butterfly. If she took all that fake stuff off and walked down the street, you wouldn't know her. Always screaming and yelling in the microphone about white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. Yeah. Yeah. White people are superior to you. I agree with that. Every black person from now on that you hear scream white supremacy, you tell them this: you are white. Every white person in America is superior to your ignorant behind. I agree with you. White supremacy. You got white folks running around telling you white supremacy don't exist. They'll tell you, white people, are you superior to us? No. Yes, you are. And white people say, what can you do with that, right? I told you I'm not and you believe that I am, so hey, if you believe it, you believe it. I can't do nothing about it. All they scream about. And on MSNBC all the time, all you hear is white supremacy. All the time, white supremacy. So I'm watching MSNBC, and they was talking about Joy Reid getting fired, and they were showing some of her greatest hits. And she had this guy by the name, he was an Indian guy by the name of Wagat Ali. Spell his name is Wagahat. So I think it's either Wagahat or Wagat Ali. And Wagat was mad because some black and brown people were with the GOP. They think on the Democratic Party they're supposed to own all of us. You know, it's like during the slavery days, the antebellum South, where they thought every black person was supposed to be working on the plantation, on the Democrat plantation. I mean, y'all saw 12 years a slave. Hell, even if you was free, they grab you and put you on the plantation down south. You're supposed to work on the plantation. Ain't no black man supposed to be free. No. So Wagat was mad, and he said, you guys got y'all people over in the black people that have gone over to the Republican Party. He talked about Byron Donald, and he said, we got our Nikki Haley's and Bhavik, Ramaswamy's. And then he made this statement that brought it all home. He said, I want them to know that they will never love you. They will never love you. They will never love you. And I'm saying, there it is. It took me back to Sergeant Waters on Soldier Story. When Soldier Story first came on, Sergeant Waters is on his knees. He'd been beat up. He was screaming at the person who was getting ready to kill him. They'll always hate you. They'll always hate you. And he got shot. And it showed on Soldier Story that before Sergeant Waters died, he lamented the fact that white people never accepted him and never loved him. This guy here is an Indian American lamenting the fact also. And that is the black Democrat and the Democrats of color's biggest problem. They are concerned about being loved. Not being respected, not being treated like an American citizen, not having a good job, not working the job well, not loving themselves, trying to make other people love them. These people ain't obligated to love you. You're obligated to love them. And that's the problem with Joy Reid, Simone Sanders, Stacey Abrams, Maxine Waters, Big Mike, Letitia James, Robin Wright, Ariana Presley, Jasmine Crockett, Al Shaw, all of them. They don't feel like they are anyone unless they are loved by white people. And that somehow or another, these people have to show their love to them. And the average American is walking around every day, white and black, trying to get home, trying to take care of their children, trying to take care of their families, trying to pay their mortgages, trying to save a little money for retirement. And they don't hate you. You got some psychopaths out there that hate you, all of them on the Democratic Party side, a bunch of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. Those are the ones you got to worry about. The ones that have never seen a baby that they did not want to kill, these Diddycrats. Yeah, those are your problems. MSNBC is a Diddycrat factory. Bunch of victims, bunch of crybabies, bunch of hate-filled perverts that want to see America go down. Joy Reid was one of them. All the rest of them over there are the same. I hope I had something to do with the firing of Joy Reid. Because I did say, when I was on Tucker Carlson about 2 years ago, well, it wasn't 2 years ago, actually, that's the first time I was on. When I was on Tucker this past summer, I said to Tucker, I said, if black people or if America wants a visual representation of the contempt that the Democrat Party has for black Americans, all they have to do is turn on MSNBC and look at Joy Reid and Al Sharpton. And at that time, Joy Reid had that Trump hair thing going on, where she had on that little wig thing. She hated Donald Trump, and she had hair just like him. So I brought it to Tucker's attention. I said, man, she got Trump hair. She said she hated Donald Trump, but she got the little Trump hair wig thing on. And of course, Tucker almost fell out the chair laughing. If you want to see the contempt the Democratic Party has for black people, turn on MSNBC and just look at Al Sharpton and Joy Reid. Look like a damn fool. She got Trump hair. She hates Donald Trump and got Trump's hair on her head.
How is she taken seriously?
By some, obviously, because they keep her on. So that interview with Tucker went viral. Millions of people saw it. About a week later, Joy Reid had took the Trump hairpiece off. And I remember I sent Tucker a text. I said, Tucker, we just did a public service for America. We got Joy Reid to pull off her Trump hairpiece. And Tucker sent me back something else, laughed and said, ha ha, now that's power. So, last week, I do a podcast, and I think it was Democrats like them bald, big, and black or something like that. But it had Joy Reid, Ariana Presley, and Simone Sanders on the thumbnail. And I talked about three of them. And then this week, Joy Reid is fired. Coincidence? I say no. So this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to applaud me and give me credit for getting Joy Reid fired off MSNBC. I'm accepting the credit for it. Because I got her to get the Trump hairpiece off first. Now I mention her and about her being just this very unsavory, very unattractive, and that a black woman on MSNBC, and that MSNBC usually attracts these women. And I think they said, well, we got to get rid of one of them. We got too many of them, y'all. We got to get rid of one of them. MSNBC is bleeding viewers for some reason. I can tell you why. You're bleeding viewers because television is a visual source. You got to see the people. And if the people you're looking at have a visceral effect on you, people are going to turn the channel. You guys at MSNBC is going to learn that pretty soon, because when this next show y'all put up with Simone Sanders, when it flops, hopefully y'all go start looking at good, conservative-minded journalists, regardless of color, and putting them on television to tell the truth. And you'll change your business model from this ghettoized, ratchet, urban, Diddicrat version of American culture, because nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying your cries of white supremacy and your cries of black oppression and your cries of, oh, we black and we poor and we can't do no better unless the white folk let us. Nobody's buying it no more. You got the only white people that are oppressing black people in America are the white liberals. Those are the ones oppressing black people. Everybody else, the one in the middle, and the conservatives aren't paying any more attention to your belly aching. In other words, they ain't paying your light bill next month. I've been paying your light bill now for the last 3 years and your car note. And every time I see you, you got your nails done, you got your hair done, and you got on a pair of Gucci shoes, and you keep telling me to pay your car note and your house note. I ain't doing it no more. White America ain't listening to you anymore. You can holler white supremacy till you're purple in the face. You know what they're going to say? We're bringing illegals over here to work because you won't do the jobs. Yeah. Jobs to be had that you won't do. Yet, you're going to say that I'm a racist because I won't give you free stuff? Ain't buying it no more. Not buying it anymore. So I tell you what, MSNBC, y'all keep up this model. Keep on bringing in these begging, crying, lapdog, knee-bending, Diddicrat black people on your show. These ugly, ghettoized, ratchet, 1961-minded black people. And we're going to continue to watch your ratings slip as Fox's ratings keep going through the roof and podcasts like mine keep growing. And we're going to see you go the way of the dinosaur. Because you know why? I am here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. So join me on Thursday for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website, and on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts, we're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it, make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.